I don't know how tough it'll be for these guys, right? You saw their max of materials. They've got a pad as well. I'm sure they'll look to scout high ground, see if that's an option for them. But they've got to be careful because there's a bunch of other teams in the lobby that will want to do so. Floki and Clemento. Oh my goodness, Alena Blue. They're picking up another elimination. First of the game. And Loki was so unsuspecting, just got completely caught out from behind. And that's going to be huge for these guys moving forward. That refresh is nice.
Big arc up top, everyone basically using the same launch pad to get to where they need to go. Fury landing first, and up in the sky we see Vanya still waiting to see what he can do. Chapix re-hits it with Tayson. They'll dictate exactly how height looks, it feels like, all the way up top here, but they see a few people already building up super fast. They're gonna keep it low-key for now and maybe take height later.
Yeah, you see they have their eyes on it, the double dip. He wanted to be the highest in the sky, make sure he could scout it well and see what their options were. They chose to leave it in the meantime, but we'll see how that pays off for them. Pink is still in this one in the bottom right of your screen, and you'll see how he can do. He's gonna be running low on mats eventually, but a refresh in the back of the zone will be the way to solve that, and you can see him attacking the wall. Those guys caught with their pants down, they don't even know where they're getting shot from.
This is crazy. Think about it. Sometimes this man has a teammate and he can do even more. Right now, he's doing more than half the teams we've seen already as a solo player on second high ground. No one's even focusing him just yet, and he's ahead of Surge. It's Jurdy and IDrop that have control for now. Every time I see Jurdy on high ground 11, he does not lose it easy.
Yeah, these guys got to be careful though. They need to reinforce height. You can see already Jurdy getting chopped down to just wood. And it's going to be really hard to hold this when you have the likes of Tayson and Chapix looking up for it. They would have spotted that wood. They would have known what these guys on height doing. We're taking it for ourselves. You can see the build fight pulling out. The code from Jurdy isn't going to come through. And so he's forced to knock it down. But as he does that, he forces a fight. And he ain't winning a fight against these guys. Tayson and Chapix, they're up there on height. And they're up there for the win. You can see they've got it now. Dry drop. The big drop will be forced all the way down, and Tayson and Chapix, they hold height in game one, but for how long you can see they themselves are down to wood, and that could be a problem as they move forward.
Big cost to get it. Pink still alive though, somehow still surviving. 300 mats for wood still left. Now he's finally getting focused. Tayson desperate for a pickup for anything at all. Down low, there's even more pressure. Pink now sandwiched from all sides. Has to give it all up down to low ground where it's catacombs, it's a graveyard. There's no one here, it's empty, and he finds some reprieve. One player slides in, but Pink sees it coming, denies access towards his builds. This man, a legend, a solo from the fourth zone, is still somehow alive.
Yeah, you can see going up against Jackson. Jackson will be taken out, and so Pink will be able to stay on low for just that bit longer, but he wants to fight with Edison. He needs to be careful. He wanted to try and get that loot, and he will do it, but it's not going to be enough, right? The flopper will keep in the game for just a bit longer. The chug splashes as well, but can he get over this hill? It doesn't quite look like it. One build comes out. Can he sort of dance his way around? It's going to be so difficult, but it's fine because so many players are going down at this stage. You can see Malibuca and Merstach are responsible for that as well, and now down to just bare bones. Pink will eventually fall, but a brilliant fight nonetheless, a valiant effort. But you can see Malibuca and Merstach, they want it all. They're clearing out their layer. They will not give anybody space to breathe. You can see as well, the floppers will be huge. If it comes to a heal off, they're setting up real nice going out into this closing moments of the game.
Unbreakable wall down low made of wood and a strong duo. Meanwhile, Chapix up top is trying anything to have a sane elimination. Another one for Merstach and Malibuca. They're up to 7, trying to wrap this one all out. Now the Siphon mats come in, but pressure is still raining up from above. Armored wall to maybe just silence them for just a second. Look at the distance between both teams right now. It's first versus fourth overall, and one more player down below. Shizo and Crusti, 2 separate, no duos to be able to help them out in this circumstance. Med miss actually for Crusti to be able to mantle around and get straight up into the zone. Big shot over, and Shizo goes down afterwards though. Merstach and Malibuca, they have the sonar on, they hear everything, they pick him apart, and now things are getting dark. This is where they were born and molded. One player down, Merstach is just popping off for the moment. 6 for him, but there's a trade. Now a 1v1. Malibuca, floppers, and chuck splashes in play. The zone's not fully closed yet. He's gonna be able to heal for just a second, but look at Tayson's HP pool. He might just be able to do this. Grabs height to start off this game. Afterwards has time to work with to maybe even make this 1v1 something special for us to witness. Final jump down. Malibuca might be running out of mats here just on the backside, but he gets 150 pod off. He's looking good for now. It's going to be an even clash on both sides. First build block. Now Tayson's going up from the right. He doesn't know exactly where Malibuca is. Look up, my friend. He's got the high ground. Malibuca has a harpoon option as well. 170 mats, no, almost 200 to use, and Tayson's forced to the ground. Has nothing for protection. He has to go for the spray. Malibuca low on HP as well. This 1v1 could dictate how the day goes completely. Tayson looking for the shot. He gets gets rattled up a little bit. He still has the HP advantage. Malibuca looking for it. Tayson almost finds a shot down. One more shot. It's coming down. Tayson with a big one going off to the right, but it's Malibuca who's just too good and can't be stopped with the first victory royale. Here. Same situation as swaps. Hen Queasy. There definitely is a cost to moving towards the opposite side of the map from the POI you drop at. He's gonna be a solo, and so is Pink once again. Anas is down in this zone, the 5th to 6th moving. I mean, I just don't even understand. In this section, that's where Pink and Anas are the strongest, but Pink has to be able to, just like Hen, solo this one again.
And you can see Hen, he's looking up at height. I'm sure, you know, he's upset. He would have wished he could actually do something about it there. But you can see a max zone. He's going to have to try and recycle this pad at some point. He's got 4 floppers, which will allow him to stay in the zone a bit, wait for those players to use it as he goes for himself. But this is really tough. The pad is an absolute lifesaver.
Does he have time?
But even then, he'll get in, but even then, he's such low HP. Needs to get landed. And the floppers are huge. But for how long shot, you can't just hold it as a solo here. He's going to have to try and make a play at some point. And even then, it's not enough. He goes down, and Pink as well. Another game, another solo clutch for the young one. 23rd at the moment. Or 23 teams in the game at the moment. He was able to get 8th last time. Will he be able to match that or even do a bit better? And Nas will certainly hope so.
It's all about the mantles, all about making sure that whenever you knock on a box, you're not going to be doing it on the front side of it. Big shot and goes to the piece. Unfortunately, needed the spray. Pink is down and out of the way at 22nd.
Yeah, and bad snap and TKS now have made a play for height. They're sitting up above. Tayson and Chapix, a team that went for it last game. They do still have a pad, and so maybe that'll be an option. I'm sure they'll look to scout it once they use it. But Zone is pulling up towards that northeast, and so they've got to make their move and quickly. You can see Tayson looking for an opportunity to place that pad, and he sees height. And he's scouting it, he's looking at it, he knows he can block it down. It's only on one wall. What are they doing? Why did they only use one wall to hold up height? They've knocked it down. Can he take it or can he claim it? It doesn't seem like it. They weren't able to hit any big shots. And so now it's just going to be about being on the move, trying to stay ahead of the zone, getting to that front side, building up. And now they realize that their height is truly theirs. Another game where Tayson and Chapix have just been almost seemingly allowed to have height for not much whatsoever. And you can see IDrop in the back of the zone. He's on such low HP. It doesn't really feel like he's going to have a say on whether or not they keep it. But DKS and Bad Snapper, who were on it, I don't know how they weren't able to reinforce it better, but at least they're still in the game. At least they still have a fighting chance, and that's what they have to do here now that they've dropped down to the mid-ground layers.
They're trying to on the other side. There's Axeforce, who was going for the height for a second when the zones first started moving. So these are all the residual duos who failed to achieve the trophy of the maximum spot up top that Chapix and Tayson have right now. PodaSai and Snayzy went down early in that first game. Finally thriving now. PodaSai getting a few eliminations, way more than a few. 6 for the big man, and a big shot too, denied with a window that was clean from him. 7 rolling, 9 for the team, 3 for Tayson and Chapix up top. They're ready to make it all the way to that last spot and get this VR.
Yeah, and Zone pulling towards the north, back over towards Rocky. Means all these teams are going to have to keep on burning through the materials. It'll give Tayson and Chapix a chance to get some eliminations. PodaSai, who barely snuck in, I believe they qualified through to this in 50th. They will go down. Not much they can do. You can see he was running on bare bones, and Kiro in the back of the zone with a med mist that's slowly running out. Eventually he's going to have to force his way in and hit a big shot as well to match it.
He's gonna be right in the sight lines of that high ground team. A long winding road with no cover down below. As soon as you touch dirt, that's where the pressure starts to ramp up. Meanwhile, the sunny heat from up top, the beams are just going down over and over again. Chapix and Tayson are not stopping any of the pressure. As a result, everyone down low, no materials at all. Satan DarKiizZ looking for their shot to have a little bit of low ground control, but they're not finding much at all.
But you can see how long it took all these teams to get any form of control, right? All these teams left on low ground, they are just in such difficult positions. I'm sure Tayson and Chapix are laughing up above, right? They saw nobody even trying to build out to claim it. They know it's only a matter of time until their moment. They have to just stay connected. They can't afford to fumble it now. But if they can just stay up and really capitalize on just how weak the rest of these teams are, they really have a chance of getting their revenge, getting a victory royale. Satan, DarKiizZ, they'll have to do their best to stop it. No materials here on Satan. The reinforced walls will come through, but at what point is that going to be enough? The zone's going to continue to pull, and you guys have to leave those boxes, and swiftly. If they just leave going into the open, Tayson and Chapix ain't going to miss these shots. You know they're going to hit them. Tayson does, but he gets knocked himself. Chapix now in the zone. He gets some finishes, and that's going to be good in terms of the refreshes. But what do we have here? What do we have here? It's the Heat-Off team. It's the Heat-Off team against Chapix. He still has a flopper left. Chapix so in the zone, it doesn't seem like he's going to be in much trouble, but I believe Vontrix might have some more heals left. You can see him running towards a pile. It's not.
And he drops it all down. He understands there wasn't enough time. There was one team left, but Vontrix does exactly what he sought out to do. Got that second place. Meanwhile, Chapix, I guess the zone is the name of the game. It melts the team that he was facing, and they get the victory royale.
Yeah, I think they realized that they had to ramp that team in order to actually have a stamp of control there. They weren't going to be able to go through underneath them. Ramping them was the right play. And of course, IDrop has that pad. Obviously, they had to burn quite a bit of materials to secure that position, but it'll be worth it in the long run.
Very scary setup for the zone specifically as well. IDrop and Jurdy on one side. That's a high ground team that really wants it. All the way towards the top. The bottom, Chapix and Tayson are there. You know, they're going to be going for height as well. In the middle is Andy and Joe. They have a chance too. So we just have like obelisks or totems all around the circle. All these height teams up in skyscrapers. Wherever the zone pulls is who gets control first, and that is going to be the top side. So Jurdy and IDrop have reign of height first. They will be padding what seems like all the way last, and already Chapix and Tayson, they move straight there. They're in with the game plan too. They might have not been the first visitors, but they're ready to play and join the party.
Yeah, I think the big thing here, right, is that we're going to see these guys stagger their rotation, right? They're going to wait for other teams to sort of glide their way in, try pick up some tags, maybe even some eliminations on the way, and then wait for the last possible moment to pad up, make sure that they're the highest in the sky in order to claim that high ground once they can get close to the zone.
We saw how they did it in game 2. When everyone padded, they took some extra damage and went for a repeat pad. That's how they just had that free height.
Yeah, we're seeing that come through now. All these teams moving their way, and you can see Chapix in the top of your screen, right? He's looking backwards, making sure he's pressurizing teams, and then clearing the pathway for that launch pad to come through. The team was actually running over their box, so they've got to be a bit careful, right? But the pad will come out, a high pad, and you'll see again, they'll be looking at it, they'll be figuring out whether or not they can take it. It looked relatively well enforced. It'll be interesting to see who it was up there, and it is an ass in pink. And that's why it's harder to take. They enforced it much better than we saw in the last game. It's not just on the one wall. And from this point onwards, can these guys continue to hold it out? Pink reinforcing it, making sure it's connected. But they have to make sure that they pressure the teams on second height. Don't allow any of them to actually get a chance to even look up to try and take it from you. IDrop and Jurdy will pad in the back of the zone, and they're looking to land on high. They want to get it. They're landing up there, and a fight's breaking out. I'm sure Floki all by himself on low ground. As you can see, IDrop and Jurdy have taken it. The big drop has high ground in this game. And we saw them in this position before. Can they hold on to it?
Round 2.
It's a big question.
Second team all the way in. He's going for it. Screwy takes it and maybe even drops him off. TchypSs is now also going straight for height. And Us is back. Round number 3. We're going for the third instance of this fight. Making them have to give it up just slightly for the moment. Still very strong on mats entirely too. It's a break. And IDrop and Jurdy still have control.
Yeah, we're seeing IDrop and Jurdy. But how much longer? You can see Anas, he's trying to break it out. They're not pressuring him enough. They're allowing him to just chop it. And if they continue, they might have it for themselves. Are we going to see a bit of a Nas piece right now? Right now, Pink's the one doing the big damage, and then Nas can actually take it down to wood, but that'll be all right because IDrop and Jurdy have not happened to be able to keep it. IDrop actually will go down. I don't know if Jurdy will follow him, but Pink and Nas take it for themselves.
That's just huge, and while all this commotion's going up top with builds, the bullets are flying down below. Snayzy, 6 eliminations. We saw Floki for the moment before as well. He had 6. These solo pop-offs are insane on the low ground. I'm looking at where Tayson and Chapix are, but I don't see a second orange light, so he might have gone down at some point. It's just Tayson, so there is no 5th high ground retake. Pink and Anas have it for now.
But we've seen Tayson have solo clutches before. One of the best solo players to ever grace this game. And so this will be his chance to show why everyone crowns him with that title.
Floki's still alive and still getting a few eliminations all the way on low ground. Shizo finally going down, but his teammate also still up, so many high point performances are still active inside this game. Grolzz rolling in 2nd place overall, looking to take the lead from Tayson, who's alive right now. 2 solo players have the lead, kind of the 1st place spot, the podium on their hands for the midpoint of the tournament. seeing exactly what he can do. ARTSKILL right below Tayson as well. He's gonna have to go through a duo. He's pinched on both sides before he's allowed to play this game. He has to get rid of one. 7 teams all in an impasse. Tayson with a big 117, but there's way too many avenues to look at. He gets caught in the crossroads.
Yeah, no potential to play in the zone and outlast teams with any heals. He just had to get right into the thick of it, but he couldn't handle it. Way too many people down there. Grolzz was one of them, but how long will it be till Grolzz actually follows Tayson back to the lobby? You can see he's trying to stay up. 52 HP. Doesn't have any potential to play in the zone, so he has to just stay in it and hope that nobody manages to find anything onto him. But right now, Anas and Pink, they've got easy pickings down below, but do they know it? They need to get involved. Watch a shot from Grolzz. Can he hit another one? He can't. He goes down. But you can see Pink will follow him down as he drops down, trying to pick up these final eliminations. It's been such a clean game for them. Round after round, they went for height, and they have the endurance. They go the distance. They win the game. Pink and Anas, after 2 games where it didn't quite go their way, they finally roll through the game winners of the lobby and do it in emphatic.
This man is just, I don't know, has 8 eyes and 17 ears. Tayson finds a perfect path all the way in. This is all impromptu. Met up with Chapix as well, who found his own way into the zone from this side. Insane the way these guys just see the way the builds move in the zone.
We talked about how Queasy and Hen would take the opportunity, but they've actually been forced down. IDrop and Jurdy, the big drop, taking another shot at high ground. Can this finally be the game when they're able to hold on to it? I don't want to speak too soon, but we'll see Shizo and Grolzz, the first place team at the moment. We know how dominant they've been able to be on mid and low ground, but can they continue up that pace? Grolzz actually will go down. They're below on Surge, and so things are looking really difficult for these guys in their attempt to keep that hot first place spot.
Not even in a good clutch spot right now. Whenever you're a solo player, you want to take your teammates mass, the utility they have, every option you have at your disposal as a team. But unfortunately, Grolzz was full piece. No chance for Shizo to get back into that box. He's going to have to work with just what he's got, which is half the power of the duo completely. So going for a little bit of rattling damage on the walls, but doesn't find any connections from this layer so far. Has to drop down soon, but as soon as he does, his mats will melt. He only has about 5 boxes to make. This is your first place positions, POV on the top right of your screen. Meanwhile, Jurdy and IDrop on the left side still did take everything all the way from height. Snayzy and PodaSai ready to ramp up down bottom. They're one of the most powerful duos we see so far. On the bottom right, they're now moving free, getting ahead of the zone, looking for their positions. Shizo stuck in the backside, has a chance for a few floppers left and right, and going for a sidewinder pump shot. That's going to be huge for him, but drops down with the improper timing. One more flopper to take his desperation, but he goes down, and now it's a chance, possibly for Chapix, to wrap back and take that first place spot. As I say that, though, Hen Queasy still alive, and this man is in a world of hurt. He's feeling that pain, still moving right past it, and surviving so far in the zone.
Yeah, and there was a med miss down there. That's going to be huge, right? He already had one in his inventory, but if he has any hope of making some sort of crazy solo clutch, the med miss will be huge. Just seeing Snayzy realizing that for himself as well. He needs that to stay in this game. The zone's actually going to pull back towards him, and that's going to be huge, right, for Snayzy and PodaSai. Can they claim and take control of low ground as it pulls down this little hill here as well? This is going to be a crucial moment for them in their pursuit of a win.
Chapix still alive, though, getting a few picks inside that feed. IDrop and Jurdy also taking apart duo after duo all the way up top. It's a duo that's also alive in that first place spot. Tayson and Chapix meeting hand in hand inside their builds. RELLVIS was down to Chapix before, and crusti gets found out by Tayson galore. It's huge for this duo right now, and they pick up the mats as well. They're ready to go. Look at the space they have left. This must be their game.
Yeah, this is easy as pie for Tayson and Chapix. They run this layer, but how many more can they dominate? They want it all right now.
Easy as pie, but they're crunched like a pastry inside that mid ground as well. It's going to be tough for them to move through the sauce. Meanwhile, PodaSai and Snayzy, 360 degrees of pressure, and somehow they're making sense of it. Move past on their own lair. Jurdy and IDrop actually start to tighten things down from high ground. Looking down below, they have the med-miss opportunity as well as the harpoon. It's all wood builds. In big piece takes. It's on the Chapix too. He's at half HP. Tayson desperate to move inside these boxes, but Jurdy's moving forward to have even more pressure. All walls controlled, but Tayson finds a little bit of reprieve, some escape. This man is just too fast. He has permanent sprint mode on, and Jurdy loses him.
Yeah, Jurdy had to be careful there. Needs to reload his weapons, right? You can go down to take fights, but you need to make sure you're well equipped. Tayson will go down. That's our first place team, and so the battle is not done. Snayzy will go at it. PodaSai now left alone. Snayzy gets knocked in, so a clutch potential here for PodaSai. Can he drop down in the right amount of time? Jurdy is still up, right? He's playing. It looks like he's a solo, but no. IDrop, his teammate, is still there. The elimination finally comes through, and so it's a 2v2. Well, actually, no, there's more teams in this one. My bad, Raizen down below. He has a handful to deal with. Hookka will come through. His teammate, his orgmate, running into him, and he deals with that Jurdy now. Not done with the battle himself. He needs to be careful because PodaSai hits hard and hits heavy. IDrop now trying to clean up for what his teammate couldn't do. Can he take PodaSai out in this moment? You can see how difficult it is. The zone is closing PodaSai away. He's tanking that damage, and IDrop is able to just stay up and wait as the zone continues to take Zeston all the way down below. He needs to make use of his med miss. He needs to get his HP up while he can before it's too late. PodaSai on just an inch of HP. It might be too late for him as well if he's not careful.
He's found corn and bandages as well. This man's ready to go. All IDrop has is 120 HP of that med miss to use. Zone's about to lock in. Zeston's already started to take a little bit of the damage on the backside. Does IDrop have enough heals? Can he find Zeston as well? Now he understands what's going down. If he doesn't get shot a little bit, he might take that fall damage too all the way towards the floor, but they're both gonna go for the heals. Who has it? It's IDrop. This man is too healthy. This man is too powerful. He overheats in that 8th zone, gets so many eliminations, and the victory royale.
So we talked about it, right? Being able to make the most of your opportunities in the game so you have them, especially when you can just not spawn. And we'll see how they play. You can see the zone pulling back towards the fortress to that west side. Going over some elevation as well, and we'll see how these teams deal with that. Jurdy and IDrop up on height, they'll be uber aware of what they have to do, and if they can sort of climb up and beat that battle. Shizo and Grolzz have their eyes on some pads, and you'll see they wait one out, and it finally does get to them. And so now they can make their way towards that first zone. And this is going to be a huge game for them if they want to secure that spot in the top 5. They're in second and they can take first. IDrop and Jurdy in the back of the zone, finally taking their pad. We're recycling one, making sure they're the highest up in the sky, and they can land back on high ground where they most are comfortable. And RELLVIS and crusti, another team that's done very brilliantly, but on lower layers. And maybe this is why, sneaking in the back of the top, doing some damage there, RELLVIS. We're not getting too greedy, not overextending, just staying in this game with his teammate by him.
The way they're moving on the top right now, RELLVIS and crusti are on your screen. I mean, this was like a secret spy mission. Box to box, mantling over different layers, and as the pressure escalates, so does the low ground in the zone. We're kind of moving up mountains and then jumping across right and left. It is Belusi and Haijo that have height for now. Jurdy is ready with IDrop to maybe go for that big jump. They have the potential on the map to be able to do it, but the space might be running out. There's so many different types of mountains in the way, and now we're even moving even more north in this zone. Jurdy down with so much damage needed to be got, and IDrop actually falls. This is going to be huge for the potential for this duo. They get fragmented in half. Jurdy still has the power to take down everyone in his lair. It's his space, and you cannot invade.
Jurdy hitting some big shots there. This is his time to solo clutch. He won't be able to do it from a height just yet, but if he can stay in this game, that will be huge. They are just outside of that top 5. Shizo! Oh my goodness! Hitting some huge shots in that moment, keeping his team in the game. Grolzz isn't there, but he certainly is. 4 elimination. He has all of his team's eliminations up to this point, and he might not be done yet if he can keep hitting shots like that.
Everyone now fragmented. There's a huge cost in moving that zone. Height has lost their partner all the way down towards the low ground. It's just solo games. Meanwhile, Merstach, Malibuca, they stay just together, unsegmented, ready to go up towards that second height layer. And Merstach, there it is. Here's the POV. They're just rattling down. It's the effects of a minigun almost, the way these guys are utilizing the pressure. They're so good, and they have so much space to work with.
Pre-edit plays in their endgame. These guys have unlimited confidence. They are reaching ultimate levels of comfortability in this lobby right now, and that's going to be a big problem for anybody that gets in their way.
Potential with the 6 chuck splashes available as well. They have so much to work with all towards the end. Oh my goodness, it's 12, 13 in Merstach's inventory. He has the loadout of gods right now for this position. The best possible place he can be in with the best loot as well. No one else really realizes it. Jurdy now out of fuel, out of ammo, out of everything in terms of a position, and he's lost in the low ground too. Everything's starting to move up. Merstach and Malibuca basically on the perfect layer. Everyone else squeezed, can't breathe. All the way here in low ground. RELLVIS and crusti have a little bit of a pocket of air to kind of work with. Darker going down, but this is where pressure really starts to ride up.
Yeah, and this is going to be tough, right? They didn't have enough mats to be able to close teams off as they went up the hill. And so they're just going to have to go back into the zone, use all those chug splashes they have. And this might be huge. They might actually be able to outplay this. Raizen and Payna, though, they're suspicious. They know that there's a team in the zone. And so they need to be uber aware of anybody trying to take it. Malibuca and Merstach, they've actually low padded back into the zone. They've got a bit of mats to hold on to, but they're now trying to fight for height. They need to be careful. Is it going to be too early? Can they actually hold on? This chug splashes are dwindling, but their shots are hitting. They now have height. They forced them off, and this is their game for the taking. They want to do another one.
What a way to get that high ground. Big shots from the backside from Merstach. Malibuca's there with the wrap down. It's like watching an arm and a hand work together at the same time. They're reading each other's minds on these takes. As a result, though, Max3 pushed down towards the low. He always hits those big shots. Merstach and Malibuca are there. They want to win this game single-handedly by themselves. Malibuca now low for the moment. There'll be a cost to this fight. crusti melts in the zone. What a way to own a VR. Merstach and Malibuca are just on fire today.
IDrop, Jurdy needs your help. You need to get in there, help him out. He's such low HP. Hardfind doing so much to stop him. And IDrop's able to stay up for just a moment. Hardfind eventually goes down. IDrop will win the fight. But that's cost them so much in terms of timing and in terms of HP as well. They still do need to move on just that bit, but it's not going to be an easy path on this layer.
Shizo is down in first place. He's going to be taken out. Not sure if his teammate is still up and alive. But Merstach still providing that pressure. And yes, IDrop was just looking so good as a solo Jurdy, shaking up inside that box. Look at Merstach and Malibuca, though. It just seems like they're playing in their own pocket dimension. So much space. It's peaceful. Meanwhile, Tayson and Chapix at war. Their entire home up top broken down, and they're up inside second height now. So much invested, no metal for the moment, but the beams are still there. Tayson's going for it. They're under in terms of surge, is it? No, not even. It's just the pressure from the other team. They're getting their shields completely wiped and removed. Have to find some time to back off, play on the defensive and heal.
Of all the teams, you wouldn't have expected Tayson and Chapix to get awareness checked, but that's what happened, and so now they can't play height for the meantime. It's gonna have to stay below. The HP is so low, but we know they're comfortable regardless of the layer. We'll see how that develops. IDrop, though, on the bottom right of your screen, only has himself to fight in this game, and eventually he will fall. It won't be enough. They tried so valiantly, but they fell just before the finishing line, and so now Tayson and IDrop will take their places up on low ground. And as the zone continues to move back away from tilted, people are going to be fighting through their old builds as well. zAndy and Joe just on that 5th place slot. They need to stay in this one as much as they can. The longer they stay in, the better for their chances of going to the finals. That's crusti and RELLVIS in front of them. Can they knock out some rivals?
Everyone does not want to go down. So many people still alive. 22 inside this zone, and we move way past city limits. We're going way past out to the suburbs. There's barely even any buildings to be able to hide behind all the way on low ground. Tayson and Chapix still moving in second place. I really want to see zAndy's perspective. They're the ones in 5th. They're the ones right on the line. Malibuca in 4th are going to be in that position as well. 8th place for Max3 and Axeforce. They've done some crazy things in terms of just individual fights, and they're looking to just wrap things up still on the top side. crusti and RELLVIS have taken over that 1st place slot, come at a huge cost as well, though, as they're low on materials, down on low ground. The asphalt all blown up. It's a nuclear war zone for the moment right now, and unfortunately they're gonna go down to the radiation. They are gone. Max3 still up top. Tayson taken out. Is he gonna have enough to stay in? It looks like it's zAndy in 4th place currently. They're looking so good. They've survived up until this point. zAndy taking a little bit of that mist and landing a few shots as well. Will this be enough? Will 161 hold is the question. He's still making it all the way in the zone. He finds his way in. A little bit more time to delay, but how much is left for him? Just 5 HP on that Met and Miss, 30 on the shields overall. Squeeze also being taken out. Malibuca in 3rd, 6th place for Axeforce and Max3. They need this win. They need the elims as well. Let's see what they can do. I saw a little bit of a point total there. 140 for them. They're so far back behind right now. I don't think it's even possible, but what a ride they had up until this point.
They're going to have to try their best. These last 2 eliminations won't be easy to get. Malibuca and Merstach doing their victory lap. 12 eliminations on the game already. This has been such a performance for them, such a climb. We knew all the struggles they had, all the battles they had to face, but they've taken it on the chin and they've moved through. And now, as the final fight breaks out, Max3 will hit a huge shot. It's not the first time we've seen him do that today, but isn't going to be enough, like Shayo said. Now, in a 2v1, Malibuca, we've seen him win situations like this before. Both Axeforce and mYinsanity can hit the kind of shots we've seen them hit. It'll be easy work. They're knocking him down. They're trying to force him to fight. And you can tell he doesn't want to. Doing some love taps here, just forcing them back down. Trying his best to stay alive in this one as much as he can. Forcing a mistake, if possible. But mYinsanity and Axeforce, they just got to stay composed, cool, calm, and collected, and keep trying to chop him out. 2 shotguns are better than 1. And you can see they're just going to keep it going, spraying relentlessly.
Another connect from Malibuca. I mean, this duo up top has been so good at just keeping control this entire game. He is 1v2ing with this pressure. They're gonna have to fall at some point to just having no materials whatsoever. mYinsanity has a chance for some type of build off. 1 player already down. No way Malibuca does this again. There's just no way he does it. 1v2 in the 6th game of Qual 1. Malibuca, the GOAT, this man is just too much to handle.
See, but here's your top 5 that have qualified and will be going on through to finals. And I just want to if you're tuning in and you're just like, what does that mean, Zeke? Like, what's happening? So we're trying to compete for top 5, and everyone else who does not make it in the top 5 are playing for series points, right? So the game's not over for any of these duos by any means. We still have 2 more qualifiers to either make it in the top 5 or make it high on the series point leaderboard.